Hello again. So, my time on camp this week could easily be summed up by venoms, hazards, medicine, and first aid. Let's have a look at what I mean. Before the video starts properly, I just want to acknowledge that I'm not entirely happy with this one, specifically because I am still learning. But this one, it's the voiceovers. I think I could have included more information. I could have not done this as much, like stuttered and stumbled. However, time management has been a bit trickier. The workload is a lot, and I think in the future I will make sure that I leave the appropriate amount of time to get the voiceovers I'm happy with. I hope you enjoy the video anyway. So Tuesday morning we headed into Hoodspray to visit the reptile centre and also visit a couple of retail parks to pick up any essentials that we might be missing and extra things that we need. So we're just in Hoodspray, which on the way here I found out means Hat Creek, and we're just going around in this retail estate, picking up any essentials we need, and then we're heading on to the reptile centre, which is really exciting. While at the second retail estate, we spotted a couple of warthogs, and it was really mind-blowing to me that animals like this are just in built up and city areas. And one of our instructors actually told us about a time when he was staying nearby to where we are right now, and he saw a leopard. So even things like that can just be in these more built up areas, and obviously that's nothing like back home and just really, really wild to me. We then arrived at the reptile centre, and first up was a presentation.
Food. But yeah, I'm going to just start with the presentation because the presentation is going to take a while. And then we're going to do fun stuff outside. We're going to do a demonstration for you guys and then hands-on stuff with maybe like a snake, a scorpion, spider, whatever we can find. But in Hoedspruit, we have a really big problem of people killing snakes and all reptiles in general. But people fear snakes, and we have to educate them not to just kill snakes because of the safety of the snake, but the safety of themselves. Because obviously, if you go closer to a cobra trying to kill it, it's going to bite you, obviously. But people don't think that way, so they kill the snake, then they get envenomated, and then all of a sudden they need anti-venom. And currently, we are basically out of anti-venom, so there isn't a lot of anti-venom in the country. So we definitely need to educate people on why it's important not to kill snakes. And snakes are also obviously beneficial to us as humans for medical reasons. They make blood pressure medicine with the venom, and they can also shrink like cancer tumors and stuff. So it's really beneficial to us as well.
I am going to include a little warning here, as in one of the pictures coming up, there is a picture of some snake bites, which is quite graphic. So if you don't want to see that, please skip over it. During the presentation, we learned about the reptiles, their anatomy, how things work, common misconceptions like snakes don't unhinge their jaws. They just have really stretchy ligaments that allow them to open their mouths that wide. We also learned about the different types of venom, whether it's cytotoxic, hemotoxic, neurotoxic, and we learned about the effects of these. After the presentation was done, we got a chance to go around the reptile centre and have a look at all the different kind of snakes and other reptiles they had around. There was lots there, all the different kinds, so we could really learn how to identify all of them. And then we even got a chance to handle some of the critters, including a scorpion, a tarantula, which actually isn't native to South Africa, but is one that they have rescued from elsewhere. And yeah, it was really fun. And I think I did quite well for someone who used to be arachnophobic. And another warning here coming up is a long video of a snake feeding. Of course, the chick that it is feeding on is already dead, It's all done extremely ethically. However, I'm sure that some people don't want to see it. So again, maybe just skip over this bit if it's something that will make you uncomfortable. So what we're watching feed right here is a black mamba. You'll notice that it isn't very black in colour. It actually gets its name from the blackness inside its mouth, which you can probably see when it starts devouring the chick here. Black mambas are very venomous. They have a mix of neurotoxic and cardiotoxic venom, and basically it shuts down the nervous system. So it will start to cause paralysis, and from that paralysis and the nerve damage, it will then start to affect the body's inner working systems, and yeah, is not a good thing to get bitten by. We're going to look at some more snakes a little bit later in the video, all with a different kind of venom, and they are all dangerous in slightly different ways. It's difficult to say what the most dangerous snake in South Africa is, because there's different reasons why you might be more or less likely to get bitten, and their venom does very, very, very different things, lots of different effects.
What type of cancer it is. It's common for all snakes. So all snakes in captivity, like in the wild, they won't get cancer. Like they would, but then like predators will take them out before they even show that they have cancer, or they will just die. But hopefully she doesn't with him. So, but yeah. I'm not exactly sure. We can maybe ask Dr. Jess what type of cancer they get.
It's interesting if they also have like
specific types or like.
Yeah.
The black mamba will actually show that the blackness in its mouth, basically to ward you away. It's part of its defense thing. It can also lift up to 1/3 of its body off the ground. So if you come near one of these snakes and you see that blackness in its mouth and you see that it's come up off the ground, it means it is threatened. It is not enjoying you being there. However, unlike some of the snakes we'll look at, it doesn't tend to sit still as much. It's not a ambush predator. It is an active hunter. So it will go looking for its dinner and actively hunting the creatures that it wants to devour. I did actually want to try and get the whole feed in. However, it ended up being a very long video. I wasn't able to see the final bit because we had to head off to the next scheduled thing at the reptile center. But yeah, it also took it a bit longer because you'll see the way it's feeding. It's not grabbed the chick in a very efficient way. It's sort of hanging out of both sides of its mouth, and yeah, I think he's had a bit of trouble swallowing.
Not trying to make anyone nervous, but if I lose control over a snake, just stay perfectly still.
We then got to have a demonstration of some more of South Africa's most dangerous snakes. First up being the puff adder. This one is extremely deadly, in that if it does bite you, it has a primarily cytotoxic venom. Cytotoxic venom means that it starts to just break down the tissue in the muscle cells, in the flesh. It is extremely dangerous, and I mean, death can occur in roughly 20 minutes. However, this doesn't happen very often. These snakes, these puff adders, are ambush predators, so they like to sit still, and they will, if they're threatened, make a noise, which is where the name comes from. So they puff, and it's different to a hiss. It's very much a sound, and they will make that noise if they feel threatened to say, I'm here, don't step on me, don't come near me. But even then, it still doesn't like to attack that much. You'll see in this part of the video here, the guy actually puts the apparatus near it, thumps on the ground near it to create the vibrations, and even presses gently on the snake, and it still doesn't strike. We then saw the boomslang, and these live in trees, very identifiable by their green color. And if you see a green snake like this that's over a meter, chances are it is a male boomslang. Now, the venom that these guys have is hemotoxic, and it is the most venomous snake in South Africa. I would need to check it, but possibly even the world. A microscopic drop of their venom, if that gets inside you, it will start to use up the proteins that help thicken the blood and help it clot and stuff. So over time, you will start to bleed. Your open wounds will just start gushing, and you will bleed internally and out of your orifices, and it can start to cause a lot of problems. The good thing is this does take a couple of days, so as long as you get the anti-venom and the treatment, you should be okay. And finally, one of the most famous snakes in the world, the cobra. Everyone's seen in movies and stuff where they flap their hoods out. We're going to see a little bit of that in this video. Again, that is something that when they are threatened, they do to get you to back off. They don't necessarily want to bite you. They're not trying to come at you. The same as all snakes, they want to be left alone. The reason, however, these snakes are more dangerous is they do like to go into holes and things and find their prey. So in the less well-developed areas of South Africa, these snakes can easily get into people's homes. People's beds and things seem like the kind of place where they will find prey. So even though they are not looking to attack humans, they could go in underneath your pillow, trying to find a mouse or whatever, and then all of a sudden they've got this very large thing in comparison to them moving and turning around. So these bites are actually a lot more common.
Let me try another tactic. Let me just see if I can hold the snake, keep it from there. What do you do, guys, if you come across a snake in the wild? So you're walking on a game path and you come across a snake. What do? You stand still, okay? So if I don't see a snake, maybe it's through tall grass, immediately I come up to it, I stand absolutely still. This is a cobra's threat display. Now the reason a snake can do this, like a cobra, is it is flattening out its rib cage, okay? Its rib cage does not have a sternum on it. So that's the bone that connects your ribs to one another. And it cannot have a sternum because the snake has to be able to swallow big meals that are sometimes 2 or 3 times bigger than the size of its own head. And so having a sternum would severely limit the way that the snake can expand its throat in its body. So the snake stands up, it spreads a hood, and it tries to appear larger and more intimidating. Have a look what happens if I move anywhere near the snake. Can you see that it's very aware of my movements? Okay? So this is why you stand still. The snake will be intimidating. You might want to run, but you stand absolutely still. And you just take a breath, and you be calm. Eventually, because the snake is scared of you, it is going to move away from you. Okay, you just need to give the snake the opportunity to gather its thoughts, and then it will run. If you move around, okay, you may confuse the snake, and if it feels that you're frightening it too much, it lunges forward. It did it earlier, did you guys see? see if I can get it to do one more time. But this is a mock lunge. So this is a bit like an elephant or a lion doing a mock strike. The snake is saying, hey Chris, I mean it now. Okay? I know my warning is not being listened to. I really want you to understand that you're pushing your luck. And this is why people believe that snakes chase them. It's why people believe that cobras are aggressive. It's merely a misinterpretation of the behavior. Okay? In actual fact, what's happening is this snake is walking itself. It is frightened. It is super scary. If it was an aggressive animal, it would head straight towards me and bite me. But no snake does that. Okay?
The Reptile Centre also offers a couple of snake handling courses, so I'm very interested in doing that and will probably be coming back. However, the courses are fairly expensive and obviously I've got a limited budget while I'm here. I should be able to make it work, but this is a chance for me to remind people that if you are enjoying this and you would like to see more and you would like to see the more exciting side of things, there is that link to buy me a coffee. On Thursday morning we had a botany lecture, so how to identify and recognize the different trees, plants, shrubs, grasses, and also where to find them. We went out in the afternoon to go and get hands-on experience looking, finding and identifying all these different things. And for me, a really interesting thing is the medicinal purposes. So one we found was because I've just always thought that's something that's amazing. We went out in the afternoon to go and identify some of these, and I managed to find this specifically. This is the sickle bush, and its leaves are actually a good medicine for anti-inflammatory purposes and even bites. So the next one we found is actually one of my favourites, and we're lucky enough to have a couple of juvenile ones growing on the camp here. And this is the Vocalia xanthophylla, more commonly known as the fever tree. And there's some interesting stories behind it. The reason it's called the fever tree is it usually grows near stagnant water, and back in the day, before people knew better, they would travel through these areas and people would end up contracting malaria, because near stagnant water you're also going to get a lot of mosquitoes. So people didn't connect that the mosquitoes were biting and transferring the malaria. Instead, people thought that it was because of going too close to these trees, because if I wipe the bark here, you'll see that green comes off and it can sort of be like spores in the air. So yeah, people thought that this caused the fever. However, there is actually some medicinal uses behind it holistically, and it can actually help with the treatment and the symptoms of a fever and inflammation and all sorts of things like that. The end of the week was taken up by a first aid course. The first day was slightly boring, tedious, because it was very, very similar to the first aid courses I've done many times back in the UK. However, day two was a lot more exciting because it included more about the kind of common injuries and more severe injuries we might come across in the bush, but also something that I've never experienced before. We had some live drills that were funny, stressful, and yeah, really helped teach us a lot about how it can go. Dion, our instructor, was an incredibly good actor and played the part of a injured victim very, very well. Support his arm, lie him down, because he's got an injury on his arm as well. I'm going to throw it on your... Okay, man. Okay, man, move to the side.
My arm really feels weird.
But we need to cut the pants open first. So you can see. The pants open.
I've got them. Right, he's got...
Get rid of them.
I can't pick it up like that. It makes it so bad when you pick it up like
Support the
that.
arm, support the arm.
What the hurts, man! Please, stop letting my hand dangle. You're pressing it. It makes it bad. Just let me pull the stick out, man. Just let me pull it out. I'll pull it quickly. I promise. I'll be fast. Let me pull it. Let me pull it. Let me get it. Stop. Stop. But it hurts when you move it, man. That one be great. Please pick up my hand. If you move my arm again, I swear I'm going to bite you if you do it again like that.
So that's it for this week's video. As always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your support. Please check out my Instagram and buy me a coffee, and I'll see you all next time.